150,000 people to lose their jobs from today, 110,000 businesses to go under as well. You've been here before with job losses and the economy has recovered, but it still must be hard to stomach.
Well, the first thing to say is that the JobKeeper program has been a remarkable success. Initially, we put it in place for 6 months. We extended it to 12 months. At its peak, it was supporting 3.8 million Australian workers, nearly 1 million Australian businesses, and it has saved, according to the Reserve Bank of Australia, at least 700,000 jobs. We really were standing on the edge of the economic abyss last year, Pete, with Treasury fearing that unemployment could reach as high as 15% and that GDP could fall by more than 20%. I mean, they are astronomically devastating and high figures. We avoided that very severe impact to our economy, and we saw the unemployment rate come down to 5.8% at the end of February. Now, JobKeeper played a key role in that. Treasury's advice to me, and the most recent published data is from MyEFO at the end of last year, is even when JobKeeper comes to an end, the unemployment rate will continue to trend down over time. And we heard the Secretary of the Treasury, Stephen Kennedy, say that as recently as last week to the Parliament. So it's really important here that we recognise the economy is strengthening and that if we left in place an economy-wide wage subsidy such as JobKeeper, it would actually be counterproductive to the economy because it would prevent workers moving more freely to other more productive roles.
It's of course little comfort for those who are about to lose their jobs though.
Well, my message to those people who have still been on JobKeeper is that just as JobKeeper ends, other supports from the Morrison government will continue. And we've announced already a number of targeted packages for sectors that continue to do it tough, like the aviation and tourism package, a $1.2 billion program, which saw more planes in the air and, of course, therefore more tourists on the ground with half-price airfares, cheap loans that are available up to 10 years with up to a 2-year period of a repayment holiday. And then, of course, the package for the arts and entertainment sector, $135 million in support, including grants to host live events. And then we've got the other economy-wide economic support measures rolling out, billions of dollars in tax cuts, infrastructure spending, new incentives for business to invest, and of course more than 300,000 new training places. All of those measures combine to support economic activity and help create jobs.
Will you be announcing more targeted support before the budget?
We'll announce more support where necessary. That has been our track record to date, and that's what we'll do into the future. We continue to monitor what is occurring across the economy very closely, and then we respond in real time. Let's not forget that the Morrison government has committed $251 billion. That's 13% of GDP, and that's more than twice what all the states and the territories have committed combined. And over $150 billion is already out the door, Pete, but there's still $100 billion to flow. And we know that households and businesses have accumulated around $240 billion on their balance sheets right now. That was not there this time last year. And that's money that will be spent as long as those health restrictions continue to be eased.
Treasurer Andrew Laming effectively broke the law by taking upskirt shots. Why is he being kept in the party until the election?
Well, the first thing to say is Andrew Laming's behaviour was totally unacceptable. It fell well below not only standards that were expected of parliamentarians, but well below what is expected from any member across society writ large. And he has acknowledged and apologised for that behaviour, but importantly, is going to go through counselling and get extra support services to work through those issues, as he should. And he has said that it's his intention to come back for the budget sittings, and it's up to him now to show that he's gone through those processes, that he's learned from those mistakes, and that he improves his behaviour going forward.
He broke the law, though.
Well, you're not the judge or the jury, and neither am I. What he has done has been unacceptable, and he recognises that, and now he's put steps in place to obviously correct his behaviour.
Are you keeping him in the party because you need him? I mean, that's fundamentally why that's the case, isn't it?
Well, again, he's announced that he's not contesting the next election. That's a pretty significant step for anyone, let alone someone who's been in the parliament for more than a decade. And so he now has to work very hard to restore not just the confidence of his colleagues, but to restore the faith and the trust of those who put him there in the first place in the parliament.
Opinion polls out today, Treasurer, has the Prime Minister's approval rating down and his disapproval rating up. There is some real proof of damage potentially costing votes here. How concerned are you about that?
Well, it's been a difficult period for the government, but we remain focused on the challenge ahead, and the Prime Minister has led the country brilliantly through the pandemic, and you can see that in both the results on the health front as well as the economic front. I mean, we are in a position to end JobKeeper because our economy is strengthening, because we have outperformed all the other major advanced economies in the world. And we've seen how when Australians band together, we can produce a best-in-world performance. And that's what we're seeing on both the health and economic front. And Scott Morrison has very much led from the front when it comes to our pandemic response. He recognises that there are further actions that need to be taken to again restore confidence across the broader community about our reaction and our dealing with the various issues that have arisen, and that's what he is doing.
Does he still have the full faith of the party?
Absolutely, without doubt. I mean, I spoke to him numerous times yesterday, and his focus, as it's always been, has been on good government and delivering better outcomes for Australians. We've got a budget to prepare, and he's intimately, obviously, involved in those discussions, and that will be another step in Australia's economic recovery plan.
Are you ready to step up if things become too terminal for him?
That's a ridiculous question, Pete. I'm stepping up as the Treasurer every single day, and it's my privilege to be his deputy and obviously to be the deputy Liberal Party leader. And I see that as a great responsibility, but obviously being the Treasurer during a pandemic has been, excuse the pun, even more taxing than normal, and that has been a period and a challenge that we've all been working hard to deliver on for the Australian people, and that's what I continue to do.
All right, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure, Pete.